Well, for us, we've been busy recruiting, but for them, I'm sure they got some rest in. We gave them Monday and Tuesday off, and then we got back after it yesterday. I think it's great when your bye week falls this time of year because, if you have it early, you haven't really gotten going with things. So I think this time of year, it's really great to kind of rejuvenate, let their bodies rest a little bit, and then it's nice that it happened after a win as well. You don't want to sit on a loss for a whole week before you play again. So it was really nice that we got the win, and they're feeling good about themselves. We've won, 2 of our last 3, and I think they're pretty confident going into the game at Texas. So it's really nice energy in practice right now.
And you mentioned the good timing heading into Texas this weekend. Obviously, one of the top teams in the conference. What difference does having a week come at that specific time before that opponent?
Yeah, I mean they're extremely talented. Obviously, they're one of the top teams in the entire nation as well, in addition to our conference. So, and they're very tough at home, and they've had a bye as well. So, I think it's just going to be interesting to see how each team comes out. I think it's an 11 o'clock tip, which is a bit unusual this time of year. So our early morning tip at their place, and again, everybody's fighting for something right now. For us, it's an opportunity to have a WNIT berth, which from what we're coming from would be a huge accomplishment for us if we're able to get that. So this game has meaning in terms of that for us. For them, it's seeding in the Big 12 tournament, it's seeding in the NCAA tournament. So a little bit different in terms of what we're fighting for, but everybody's fighting for something, and it'd just be interesting to kind of see how both teams come out.
Based on the last time that you all played Texas, would you say your team has more of a chip on its shoulder because you guys were right there and it just in the final minutes just barely slipped away?
Well, it's kind of get angry watching the game again. It's been a little bit since we played them, but watching it again, you had so many opportunities in that game. For us, offensively, it was one of our best performances of the season. We set a record, I think, in the first quarter of made threes, or the most threes made in a quarter since quarters began for us a couple years ago, and we were on fire. And we certainly had our chances. We led at different points in the fourth quarter, so we had opportunities, and I think that's encouraging to our group to have seen that we were right there with them and did have chances to pull it out at our place. So I think it is encouraging to them.
Could you kind of touch on the confidence that your team is feeling right now? Do you think it's at a different level right now? They've won 2 of 3, easily could have won all 3 games. They're just a different belief. You can talk about what they can do, for most of the season, but to actually see them go out there and do it, have you seen something different from them, how they carry themselves, how they are in practice from day to day?
Well, I think it's just the confidence factor. One of the things we noticed at Kansas, getting our first Big 12 road win is just the last couple of minutes, how locked in they were, and every timeout and every moment, every dead ball that we were talking to them and giving instruction, they were right there with you. And, having experienced this at different programs and part of the transition and the turnaround, that's when they're starting to get stuff, and it's taken a while to get there. We mixed the lineup up a little bit. I think that helped us down the last few minutes of the game as well. We had a little bit more experience on the floor. But you could just really tell that they wanted the game. They believed in that moment that they had a chance and that they were going to stick together and fight through it. Not every huddle has felt that way. I think that's part of the growth that we saw in the game at Kansas in particular, were the last 2 minutes of the game and how locked in they were during those dead moments of the game.
You as a new coach, since you've taken the program over, obviously you want to establish your identity, what you want this team to be. Have you seen them finally, this team knowing what that identity is and playing from that the last few games?
Yeah, I think for us, the identity piece was more about daily progress. It still is. And it's about daily fight and how hard we're working and what we want to be about, regardless of some deficiencies that we may have. And I think that part is definitely coming along. I definitely think that you've seen that. I think the fans have seen that. And the fact that we were in and so close in those games. You take West Virginia, we're up 1 here a week ago with 20 seconds to go. And, they just blasted Oklahoma State last night at Oklahoma State by almost 30 points. So it's encouraging the monumental steps that this group has made, without question. And, you get hungry and you're so close and you have a chance, you want to pull it off. But identity-wise, it's toughness, it's grit, it's being that extra credit group, not taking shortcuts and things like that we're really focused on and off the court. I mean, this has been a complete cultural shift, and we could write books on everything that's gone into the season thus far, just this season. but it's a complete transformation, and I'm just happy that, you know, they're really competing, and then they're getting some of these wins down the stretch. I think that's huge for their confidence going forward.
Coach, I know you can't specifically talk about any specific recruit, but have you heard from what's their reaction been to winning 2 of the last 3, being in these games and starting to turn this tide, I guess would be the way to put it?
Well, there's a lot of belief in, you know, we hashtagged the movement and we got here, and it's really taken off. I mean, we're talking to young kids on the phone that might be freshmen or sophomores, and they're really in tune. They know the score. They know we win the game. They know if we lose and how close it was compared to previous seasons. And there's a major belief in where we're headed and where we're going. And just the crowds that we've had here, too, has been exciting. And they're really in tune with that. You know, today's kids want to play in front of large crowds. I mean, it is huge in the recruiting process. And I don't think we could be in a better place for an opportunity to, the ceiling being so high, for us to get our fan base back in here. It's not brand new. It's not something that hasn't happened before. We're just trying to tap back into it. And I think when you've come to games here, and there are 4,000 people in here at our Oklahoma, over 4,000, almost 5,000 at our Pink game, and you know, we were on a rough stretch during that time, and they're still coming because we were so close, and we got over the hump that night. And I think, you know, people are talking in terms of, you know, 6, 8, 10,000 people being here next year, and just because of where we're going. But that's been huge on the recruiting front as well.
You mentioned that it's been a while since you've played Texas. Is there anything different about them this time around than maybe they're doing something different schematically or player-wise that they weren't doing before?
Yeah, I think with them, it's just what you see with most people. Everybody's a little bit more polished, a little bit more well-oiled, so to speak, and things matter at a higher level, and I think you see that in them. They've got a lot of kids with great individual skill set. I think they're playing better as a team of late. I know they're coming off a loss, but some of the things that we're seeing, they're a lot more polished defensively and things like that than when we saw them the first go around. And I think they get the ball into the right players' hands better than when we played them the first go around. Based on time and score. So those are a couple of things that stand out to me in their improvement since the first time we played them. Yes, Angel's been just solid for us. And, you know, I told Angel months ago, it's not brand new. I said, you've logged as many minutes as almost anyone on our team that is returning. And we're going to really rely on you with that as we progress down the stretch, and be confident with that, because you've been in these moments. You've played in all these gyms and arenas, and you know what this is about. And I think with her of late, it's just she's getting more and more confident. We've always told Angel to shoot the ball when she's open and things like that. I think what we're seeing with her now is just there's so much attention on players like Aaron and Brittany and Cece at times that she's getting these open looks, and she's been able to actually make the right reads and actually make the shots and get to the basket or shoot the three and things like that. But she's been definitely a bright spot and a difference maker for us in these wins of late.
You kind of alluded to it, but I guess have you kind of seen shots open up for other players, kind of like an Angel, when you're kind of focusing on a Chrislyn and even Sydney, who's kind of been kind of lighting it up the last couple games?
Oh, without question. That she's definitely someone that's benefited from all the attention that they're getting defensively.
It was awesome, incredible. I mean, road wins are so fun, and it was fun getting 2 days off back here, getting to celebrate a little bit. So yeah, it was a great win.
How much has the team grown from, like, you know, just the last couple of games, winning 2 of the last 3, you know?
I think we've grown a lot, honestly, especially watching back our when we played Texas last at home. I think we've grown a lot, especially in the fourth quarter. I think our toughness and how we're able to play through a lot and how we're sharing the ball, passing the ball, especially from our post, I think it's been great. We've improved a lot.
Considering the way that the last time you all played Texas, how that game ended, would you say you have more of a chip on your shoulder going into Austin this time around?
Oh, absolutely, because we're fighting for something, you know. We're fighting for that postseason, and K-State just beat Texas at home, so it's doable. So for us, that gives us hope. So when we go into Austin, we're coming in with confidence. We have nothing to lose.
Obviously, at this point in the season, you've played everyone. You're getting that second matchup against everyone. What did you learn from that first Texas game that you can really use for this one?
I think just being able to keep people in front of us as a guard. I know they got a lot of mid-range off of us, and so also be able to rebound a lot better. I think that's going to be a big key for us. But, yeah, we're excited.
Does this team, are you at the point now where you know the identity, you guys know what you have to do, it's just all about going out there and doing it, or are there still little things you work on to figure out what's going to work, or how does that process go from game to game?
We definitely made some adjustments, especially from the last Texas game, watching film and stuff as a team. And Coach has changed the game plan a little bit defensively and different things like that we have to lock into. But overall, we know what we have to do. We know the game plan. We believe in the game plan. So now we should have to execute it, go out there and work, and that's how we're going to win the game.
And obviously, you guys have gotten better throughout the season, throughout Big 12 play. And you mentioned winning 2 of 3, but easily could have been 3 of 3. What's been different these last few games that's really been leading to late game success and just really sustained success throughout those games?
I think it's our fight. I think the first couple games in Big 12, we panicked a little bit going into the fourth quarter. We didn't have a lot of experience going into the fourth quarter, but now we know what it takes, and now we know we're capable, and it's kind of sticking to what we do. When we're in the fourth quarter, we should be doing exactly what we were doing in the first quarter, and so we just got to execute, follow the game plan, and just play through anything that comes our way.
When this week was the longest break that you guys have had throughout conference play, not having a game in the midweek, how much did this team benefit from having a chance to just kind of take 2 days off and be able to sort of catch your breath?
I think it was great for us, especially mentally, just kind of refresh, refuel, get remotivated, watch some basketball on TV, spend time together. I think it was huge for us, and I think you're going to see our fresh legs, our fresh minds as we go fight Texas.
You talked about just being able to kind of come back down to earth and remember your why. What are some of the things that really motivate you now as you guys come to this last few games in conference play?
I think I can speak for all of us in the sense that we're playing for the sister next to us. We're fighting for the girl next to us. We've been through it together. We've been through adversity. We've been through it all. And so we're fighting for the girls next to us, and that's what's going to keep us going.
And speaking of that, just knowing that Zuri only has a couple of games left, your lone senior, how important are the next few games just to kind of be able to provide her, the best possible end to her career here at Tech?
It's huge. We're fighting for Zuri. We're fighting to give her a postseason. She's been a great senior leader for us, and we want to honor her through playing as hard as we possibly can and doing everything we can to win these games.
Sydney, I guess, can you just kind of speak to what Angel's been able to do the last couple games, getting in double figures for the last 3? I guess where has she shown her improvement?
Angel's been huge for us down the stretch, making those layups, getting fouled, getting to the free throw line, knocking down her free throws, hitting those big threes when she's open. She's having the confidence to step up and knock down shots when we need her to, and she's been consistent at that.
You kind of feel like it's been confidence for her in terms of just kind of taking shots or kind of driving the basket, and how important has that been for her just in the last 3 games to be able to be consistent with those double-figure games?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think it gives us a big boost and somebody we can rely on for sure. And so her getting those double digits for us has been huge in us winning these past couple of games. And she's going to be huge in Texas on Saturday. And so she's going to continue to be consistent. Her confidence is continuing to build.